So today we are talking about chores, and this has come up and following through. So with cleaning up and just following through with the chore list. So 3 members have actually brought this up and in the comments, so you're not the only one. And when you put something out there, probably somebody else has the same question or is struggling. So the more that you can engage, the more that you can ask questions, the better. Because if you're asking it, somebody else is. And some people feel it's really tough sometimes to ask for help. We feel a lot of shame. There was a comment even today on one of the posts saying, I'm probably doing it wrong. And, you know, children don't come with a manual. And I've worked with children and families for over 20 years. I've been mentored by psychology, psychiatry, social work. I mean, I've worked in mental health for a long time and in the parenting industry for almost 8 years. So I get it. I know that it's really tough to know what is the right thing. So asking questions is a great way to get started because there's a lot of information out there and it's really tough to know if you're on the right track. The other piece too is that sometimes I feel like parents get really defeated because it's like, I've read the blogs, I've done what I think I'm supposed to do, I've read the books, and it's just not working. So what is wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? And that's usually when you can ask for help. You can ask the questions here. I do work with families individually as well. So we are talking chores. Chores. We all have them in our home, and it's not about that this is all mom, right? That mom has to be doing this or just dad has to be doing this. Depending on who's in your home, I mean, I have a worksheet and it's called Team Family because I am not a very organized person. And I've learned through the years to become more organized. I'm working on it. I'm trying to create routines and rituals and habits, right? So the habits just become automatic. And that's really what you want to do with your children. But chores are not something that they value. You know, a lot of kids, and I'm talking about my kids as well, they just think like, I don't care about that. I don't want to do that. So I don't care about it. Let's just not do it. And you're making me do it. If it's so important to you, then you do it. But it's about working together and you're teaching them priorities and you're teaching them that their contribution means a lot and it's important. So having your child contribute to the household is teaching them responsibility and accountability, how to plan out their day, how to do things, how to become more independent, and that their contribution matters. And that actually helps with their self-esteem and their self-concept. Who are they in the world? Do they matter? Does their contribution matter? How are they contributing to the world? And it starts by doing things in the home and even chores. So first off is you need to get organized. If you're not organized, you don't know what you want, you don't know what you're asking for, then that's the first step. And sometimes, even for myself, I was not even doing my own chores and things were just getting overwhelming. And then I just wasn't doing them, or I was just doing them myself because it was just easier. So you want to be mindful of that as well, because that turns into your role. Some children will actually do things on purpose. They will do it bad on purpose. So that's something that you have to be aware of as well, not to jump in and fix. Not to jump in and redo it, because then that child or even your partner may say, what's the point? Why am I going to do this? So you have to be able to tolerate a little bit of your own distress when it comes to that kind of stuff, because the window may be streaky, they may have missed, you know, a bunch of crumbs, but let's focus on the effort, because some children will do things wrong because they learn that when they do it wrong, you just step in and do it for them. But others will be like defeated, and it's like, so what's the point? You don't think I'm very good at this. So if you're going to fix it, don't do it when they can see it, or just let it go. But you have to be able to tolerate a little bit of that distress. So get organized. What needs to be done in the home? The other thing too, especially if you have an oppositional child, telling them what to do isn't helpful. So if you can give them an opportunity to choose what are the household chores that need to get done, and let them choose. They may not want to do any of them, but if that's not an option, and we're not putting it as an option, that we're saying, these are the 5 things that need to get done. Which one of them do you want to do? Which one would you prefer to do? That's the angle you're coming at, not which one would you like to do? And they're going to say, I don't want to do any of them, right? So of these 5, you have a choice. You can pick one. And before they get to play on video games, before they go outside, before anything that they want to do, this needs to get done. That's if you've got a child that will not do it. Because some kids, if you just say, look, it just needs to get done by this time, then you let them do it and you trust that they're going to get it done. So you have to pick your battles a little bit, because some of us nag and nag and nag, and that just really annoys the kids. So they just start pushing back. And they're like, you're bugging me, so I'm not going to do it. Or, you know what, I'm going to do it on my time just to drive you crazy. So if you hook into it, if you get upset, it's working. So if you see a behavior that's happening on a regular basis, it's because it's working. And as the adult, we have to step back and say, how can we do things differently? What's going on? Let's have some conversations with our kids to say, how do we make this work? Those conversations, understanding what is going on underneath the behavior, can be really tough to do. You want to dig a little bit deeper and see. And that's usually when parents connect with me, is because I've tried A, B, and C. It's not working. So can you please support me? So I have actually got a chart, and it's a team family chart. So it looks a little bit like, so it looks like this. So you can download these on Etsy or on my shop. So as you can see, there's 4 slots, and there's 4 of us in our family, and I include my husband and I in that, because I have gotten some comments from my kids saying, well, what are you doing? You know, like, you want me to do this? What are you doing? Well, I'll show you what I'm doing then. And actually, I think it kind of works. My husband, he likes doing it too, and he'll add extra stuff when he's done extra stuff. People want the acknowledgement, right? People want someone to notice that they've put in the effort, that they've followed through. Children want to do well. They really do. But when they're struggling, they're not going to ask you for help. It's usually that behavior that we see, and then they're struggling, right? So they don't know how to be like, well, this isn't working for me, or I don't like this. Is there an alternative? And sometimes what we do is we just shut it down because we don't want the fight. And it's like, just listen to me. So if you're ready to make those, have those conversations, you have to do it when you're calm. You have to be open-minded. So with my team family, what I do is I write down all the jobs that need to get done. So the floor needs to be washed, the bathroom needs to be cleaned, the recycling needs to be put out, whatever that needs to be done. And then you can decide. So you put your everybody's names up on top, and then whoever checks it off, then you're saying, I've done this. Some jobs, maybe 2 people would check it off because, hey, there's enough tile grout in the kitchen for everybody to pitch in. So it could be a 4-man job. We just do it at different times. And understanding that some jobs are just not as appealing to some people. So why fight it? My husband loves to cook. So back in the day when we used to get together for events, my husband would do all the cooking, and then I would do the cleaning. So that was our compromise. If you know you've got kids that are not going to vacuum, why put that on the list? If you've got kids that you know will make a bed or have no problem organizing something, those are probably the kinds of things that they will do, but we continue to give them the chores that they don't want to do. So it's finding that happy medium and talking to your children about it. So the team family also, I have jobs for hire, because there are some things that are just everyday kind of things, but maybe there are extra things like raking the leaves or a job that you don't really want to do. And if they want some extra money, this is how much it is. So you can decide, I'm going to write it down. How much is it? $5, $2. I mean, some children might just do it for a hug, but you can put that on there. So what are they looking for? What is their motivator? And then planning ahead. I've got another one where I created these to do and done. So really specific. And what needs to get done at night. So really planning that ahead, knowing how much time they need. So they have to read or do their homework. They have to do a 5-minute tidy. So the cleaning is actually part of their routine. They brush their teeth, and then they have to put their PJs and clothing, put on their PJs and put clothing in the hamper. So you're creating the cleanup as part of the routine, and it's all ready to go in this downloadable. And then on the bottom it says, if I'm done by a certain time, then I can have a story or whatever it is. So the when then is really helpful. So when you do something I want, then you get something you want.